I'm going to call upon the next speaker. And again, she needs no introduction. She's absolutely amazing. And she's also a sponsor of Awesomeness Fest, just like Mind Valley. And there's so many amazing things I can say about Lisa Nichols, but I don't really have to because you guys have seen her. Several people came up to me after the first day, the bonus day with Lisa Nichols, before we started A-Fest, and said that that bonus day itself completely changed the course of their lives. So we're going to bring back Lisa for a grand, amazing finale.
How are you guys doing? It ain't over yet. There's more to come. This conversation that we get to have this afternoon is very exciting to me. I've spent the last 20 years building my speaking career, and I've had some pretty amazing opportunities. And a lot of it came because I have a talent at speaking. But a lot of it also came because I learned how to be a CEO. I believe I was born to speak. I came out of my mother giving instructions. I'm sure I told the doctor, slap me on the left, doc, not the right. I'm sure I was inspiring people from day one. In high school, I was a captain of the track team. I was the head of the cheerleading squad. I was editor of yearbook. I was in student council. I was always running my mouth, giving instructions, and inspiring people. But I wasn't born to be a CEO. That part was hard. I get why most businesses go out of business. Not because of the talent, but because of the business infrastructure. But then throughout my career, I learned that as a speaker, it was a bigger responsibility than just standing on this stage. What was speaking to make a difference? What does it mean to do that? And how can I be responsible for that charge? So for any of you who are in any business, you are in the business of speaking. If you have to deal with people in your life, you are in the business of speaking. If you have children, if you have partners, if you have family, you are in the business of speaking. And so I want to take some time to do something I've done very rarely, and that's to talk about the context of speaking and how do you use that art to not only enhance your life, but to enhance your business. How do you do that? And the reason why I'm doing it these days is because last year, right here at A-Fest, and some of you heard the story on my bonus day, a gentleman by the name of Mikola from Russia came to me in my room. We had our private little session in the room that I do at times. And after everyone kind of was leaving, he's just sat there and he was just giving me this blank stare. And I was like, dude, it's over. So it was awkward. And I finally looked at him and said, can I help you? I want you to teach me how to tell stories. I was like, tell stories? That's not on the menu of what I offer. I don't care. I was like, but really, I don't tell people to teach you how to tell stories. That's what I want from you. I said, I can teach you how to grow your business. I don't need that. I am the top speaker in Russia. I want to tell stories. I want to move people the way you move people. I sat on the front row at Jack Camp. I do horrible accents, so that is Russian. And if I told you a story from Taipei, that would be my Chinese. If I told you a story from the Caribbean, that would be my Caribbean. Get over it. That's me. That's it. And he says, I was at Jack Canfield's event. I sat on the front row, and from the moment you open your mouth, you captivated me. I know how to make money, but I don't captivate people like that. I want that. I said, I'm kind of stuck. I'm slow. Dude, it's not on my menu. I don't care. So I go in the other room with Allison. I was like, Allison, this guy's out here asking for something that I don't even know what he wants. She goes, what? He wants me to tell stories. Well, tell him some stories. So I go back out. I goes, how do you want this delivered to you? Your customer, by the way, will tell you what they need. Hello? I told my bonus day folk, you are not the expert of your industry. Your customer is the expert. You're the service provider. Yeah, you might want to write that down. You thought you were the expert. So if my expert's telling me, I need you to spend a day with me. I was like, a whole day? A whole day. So we call that a VIP day. We do VIP days in my company where we spend 6, 7 hours with a client and we go over every aspect of their business. I said, in 7 hours, we can videotape it and go over everything. No, just stories. I said, you want me to tell you stories for 7 hours? Yes, I do. I was like, how many of these days do you want? I want 2. You want them back to back? No, I go away. I do it, I go, I apply it, I come back, you give me another. Okay. So out of that, he flies from Russia, he comes over, and all day long, he tells a story, and then I tell him back his same story, but I add layers and I add color. He tells a story, I show the story. He tells a story, I show the story. There's a distinct difference, and I'm going to go through that with you guys. Would you guys like me to do that for you guys today? And for the very first time publicly, I'm going to unwrap what I do. Because you think, ooh, it's magic. And then you drink the Lisa Kool-Aid. Right? Well, while a lot of it's talent, there's some key and distinctive techniques that you can learn. Now, I'm teaching you just a smidget of what we're doing for 3 days in my upcoming 3-day training, and then what I do for a year with my global leaders. But I want to give you a smidget of that right now. And so he comes over and he tells a story about his father, and then I tell him back the story about his father, and he's bawling. And his wife is crying, and my assistant's crying, and I'm crying while I'm telling his story. And he goes, how did you do that? I said, you told the story, I showed the story. There's a distinct difference, and it translates everything you do in your life. Everywhere you can apply this. How did I learn this technique? My first 2 books are Chicken Soup for the Soul books. And Chicken Soup for the Soul, they have a criteria. If it doesn't make you laugh, cry, or give you goosebumps, it ain't getting in the book. Do you know how many stories you have to read to get to that level of story? If it doesn't rank 9 out of 10, they will throw the story out. I read 5,332 stories to find 279 stories. So by the time I ended that journey, I was pretty good at a show me story on paper. Then I began to hone my skills to show the story verbally as well. So that's what we're going to do. Now I'm teaching speakers. How many people your business requires you to actively, in some form, be a speaker? Raise your hand. Keep your hands up high. Okay, this is your juice right now. Right now, this is the juice. Now, you've got many great nuggets throughout the week, but this thing right here, you know, I always said, I wish someone who would advance far in the industry would take me behind their black curtain. You know what I mean? This is behind the black curtain with me for a moment. My son, when he was 2 years old, he could break a toy in 14 days. And so I would only spend $14 on every toy. 14 days, $14. Sound good to me. I was in KB Toys. Anyone familiar with KB Toys? I was in KB Toys, and I'm in the toy area, and I'm looking at the $14 toys. My son breaks it in 14 days, $14 is the budget. And as I'm looking at the toy, $14 toy, the spirit just said, go down the aisle, slide down the aisle. And I said, okay. I slid down the aisle. And in front of me was Mattel Toys, Tonka toy, $44.99. I said, oh, God, you got the wrong girl. My budget is $14.99. I went back to the $14.99 toy. I grabbed it, walked over to the sales counter, paid for it, went to walk out the door at the Crenshaw Mall. And as my foot crossed the threshold, God said, I said. Has anyone ever heard instructions and then went against the instructions and then God, raise your hands up high, not shy. I want to make sure I'm in the right room. Okay. Right. So I'm at the center on the threshold arguing with God. God, I ain't got that kind of money. Do you know what kind of budget I'm on? I'm just looking real crazy because I argue out loud with God. God said, I said, go back and get the other toy. So I walked back in with an attitude. Have you ever followed God mad? Whatever, I'm going to do it, but I'm going to show you. I exchanged it. I go get the $44.99 toy. I'm like, now we really got to eat beanies and weenies for the next 2 weeks. More beanies than weenies. I buy it. I go home. First thing I say to Jelani is, be careful. This toy cost him, before I can get it out of my mouth, he picked it up and dropped it. Picked it up again and dropped it. Because he did that with every toy. Picked it up and dropped it. He did it with every toy until it ended up in the toy cemetery. Picked it up, dropped it. But every time he dropped it, the toy, because it was a Tonka truck. Guys, you guys know about the Tonka trucks? I didn't even know they existed. They're like apparently pretty amazing. Every time he dropped it, the Tonka truck would go, mmm. It just go, not fast. It was never fast. Wasn't a speed car, but it would just go, mmm. He'd pick it up, drop it again. Mmm. 3 days in, pick it up, drop it. Mmm. 7 days in, pick it up, drop it. Mmm. 10 days in, pick it up, drop it. 14 days, I'm like, Watch this. 14 days, picked it up, dropped it. 21 days, pick it up, drop it. 30 days, pick it up, drop it. 35 days, pick it up, drop it. On the 40th day, I picked it up. I was like, it just needs a higher height. I got this. I picked it up and I dropped it. And it went, 60 days, picked it up, dropped it. 80 days, picked it up, dropped it. 120 days, picked it up, dropped it. 6 months, picked it up, dropped it. I'm like, what is up with that toy? A year and a half later, it became my son's Linus blanket toy. I take him to child care. They try to take it. I said, I advise you to not touch that child's toy. They're inseparable. A year and a half, picked it up, drop it. Jaylani outgrows the toy. He doesn't want it anymore. He gives it to my nephew, Jamil, and he gives it to Jamil with explicit instructions on the application. So Jamil, age 2, first thing he does is what, you guys? Pick it up and drop it. And what does it do? 6 months, pick it up, drop it. What does it do? 8 months, pick it up, drop it. What does it do? 12 months, pick it up, drop it. 14 months, pick it up, drop it. 2 years with Jamil. And now it's kind of shaking. It's like, it got a little tweak on it, but it's still moving. It never sped up, but it didn't slow down. Jamil added another twist to it. Jamil took it outside to the front porch and would drop it up down the stairs and it go ba-boom, 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 ba-boom. Get to the bottom and go what? My son and Jamil both outgrew the toy. And my son decided, let's give it to Goodwill, Mommy. Okay, cool. We go to Goodwill. We're about to walk in. He goes, wait, Mom, one last time. He picks it up and what? Drops it. And what does it do going into Goodwill? And that was the last I saw of the toy. I was so surprised that toy outlasted my son. I was so surprised that with everything that my son put that toy through, it was still moving. But Mattel, they weren't. When Mattel built that toy, when they had that toy on the assembly line, they said this toy is going to meet Jaylani Nichols. And when it meets Jaylani Nichols, it's going to be picked up and dropped a few times. So we need to give this toy some extra girth. We need to give this toy some extra strength. We need to put this toy together extra solid. We need to make sure this toy does not break under pressure. Yes, yes? Now, whatever your faith is, I believe somebody came for this. This is the cherry on top of the cake you didn't know you were going to get before you left. I believe that when God put you together on that assembly line called creation, she said, she's going to go through something. He's going to be picked up and dropped a few times. She's going to be picked up and dropped a few times. He's going to experience betrayal. Let me give him some extra tenacity. She's going to experience hurt and abandonment. Let me give her some faith and forgiveness. He's going to experience a breakdown and some financial challenges. Let me give him some determination. She's going to experience a health issue or a family issue. Let me give her the spirit of resiliency. He says something's going to happen. Let me make sure that every time she's picked up, every time he's picked up and dropped, that he still goes. She still goes, what? Now, you may not go fast, but you won't ever stop moving. So just like that Tonka truck, just like my son, so no matter how many times he picked it up and dropped it, no matter how many times it tumbled down those stairs, it always still moved. See, sometimes you question, can you keep going? You forget that you was built like the Tonka truck. You forget that you're that Tonka truck. You're that Tonka truck. So the next time something is going challenging, I want you to say this. It's Tonka time. Say it with me. It's Tonka. A little louder. Come on, y'all. It's Tonka. Turn to somebody on the side and say, it's Tonka time. It's Tonka time. How many guys in your life you know that whether things are going great and they need to get better or whether you need to clean some stuff up in your life, it's Tonka time? Raise your hand. One hand up. Two hands if you know it's really you. Two hands. And two hands and stand up if you're ready for Tonka time. Stand up. Two hands and stand up if you're ready for Tonka time. I just want to check the pulse of the room. I want to make sure I'm in the right space. Okay, great. All right, great. Have a seat. So, in sharing that story, there's some things that I did. Number one, I showed you my son picking it up and dropping it. I showed you walking across the threshold of the store. I showed you when I slid down the aisle and came back. I believe a lot of times as a speaker, we stay too contained. I don't know what we're protecting. Show me your story like I'm looking at a movie. We see in pictures. And I have to take your words and make them a picture. What if you made them a picture for me? Now I'm just with you. When you speak, there's a cadence and a rhythm to your voice that has to be able to have verbal highlights, go up and go down. Show me a point that's more important. Slow down and make me hold on for a minute and wait with you. Be okay with silence in the moment so that you can catch your breath. I can catch my breath, and the next thing that you hear, you're listening to every single word. Sometimes we think more words, the more we give is better. Sometimes I need you to let me breathe as your listener. When you speed up, only go 10 seconds and then slow me back down. And if you want to make a point and there's a rhythm, then show me the rhythm. Show me the rhythm. Show me the rhythm. Everything I did showed you the rhythm so you can see it. And then when you bring your point home, and it's important to hold on to the words, then you be still so that I'm not distracted by your movement, but I only get your words. Speaking is an art, and it's an art that many people can learn. But if you decide to open your mouth, then you better have something to say, because then you're just wasting our time. And you determine what you have to say based on what we, the people listening, need, not based on what you think is wise to say. Breathe. You guys holding your breath. Okay, Lisa. It's important to integrate humor. I think I'll put some slides together. Allison, I'll never think to click it. They're real simple. How do I know I'm a speaker? How many of you guys have ever asked the question, how do I know I'm a speaker? And raise your hands if that's you. How do I know I'm a speaker? Next question, what kind of speaker am I? How many of you guys would like to know what kind of speaker you are? What's the best thing? I'm going to give you some insight right now that most speakers don't even discuss and talk about. I believe that there are 4 types of speakers. You might want to write this down. Now, I'm going to run through a lot of this very fast, but we teach this in 2 formats for speakers, authors, and trainers, coaches and consultants and authors. we have an intensive year-long program. We go through it in more depth. I'll tell you about that later. And then for those of you who just want to polish your speaking skill and really jump into it, we have a 3-day intensive that we teach virtually and we teach live. And I'll teach more here. So I'm going to go fast, but no worries. If something sparked, you want more, I'll show you how you can get more and how we can really study together, and I can teach you and help guide your speaking career and your speaking impact. What kind of speaker you are. There are 4 types of speakers, I believe. There's an informational speaker. An informational speaker is designed, and they're in business just to give information. They do not care if you are inspired. That's that traffic school teacher. I don't care if you like me. I don't care if you get value. Do your 8 hours and keep it going. Keep it pushing. That's an informational speaker. Unfortunately, a lot of our teachers in school become informational speakers. That teacher that you remember is because they were an inspirational speaker. That teacher that you remember is because they were a motivational. They were still teaching you, but they inspired you as well. So informational speaker, just in the business to deliver information. The second level is a motivational speaker. Someone who's, and now this is the area that everyone gets grouped in. Everyone calls me a motivational speaker, and that's okay. That's because they don't know all the different choices. Without it, you just dump everything into one big box. A motivational speaker, that's someone who gives you external motivation. It's very necessary. They get you on fire, you're charged, there's a lot of energy, you're going. Very, very necessary. They can jumpstart you. The long-term impact is a little less likely, but they can jumpstart you. If you plug into something else real fast, you can keep it going. If you don't, it's going to kind of fizzle out. How many of us have been motivated, then it fizzled out? Right? You're like, what happened? That workshop didn't work. No, it did. You went home on fire. That was the experience. That was what it was for. The third type of speaker is an inspirational speaker. An inspirational speaker is designed to go inside your soul and stir it up and cause you to want to be a better person. It's an inspirational speaker. They're designed to just go in and to move you and to inspire you and to create that possibility in you. Very necessary, very beautiful. For years, that was the limit of where I wanted to be. I want to be an inspirational speaker. And then I was introduced to transformational speaker. A transformational speaker, be very clear, they will have you say the thing you don't want to say and do the thing you don't want to do so you can be the man or the woman you've always known yourself to be. The road less traveled. Now, to be a transformational speaker, you have to stay in transformation yourself. So most transformational speakers are really struggling with that because you have to constantly be willing to confront what you don't want to see about yourself in your genius. Does that make sense, you guys? I live to transform lives and businesses. I come out and speak just to find out who can I coach, whose life can I help transform, whose business, whose family, that's what I love to do. I speak in order to get to the coaching and the training. So a transformational speaker is someone who's committed to change. They're the person that's going to go down to the darkest places with you and walk you out so you're not alone. And that normally comes in the form of a coach. It's hard to do it in speaking because it takes more time. You can educate me fast, you can motivate me fast, you can inspire me fast, but you cannot Google download transformation. Sorry. Does that make sense, you guys? Yes, yes? Yes, yes? Yes, yes? Is this good information for you guys? We look at speakers all the time, and they're just kind of all glossy and shiny and beautiful. I thought I'm going to break it down for you based on what I know. I've never taught this before. I'm giving you guys a sneak peek into the training I'm teaching for the very first time in December because so many people like Mikola asked for it. Mikola came back to me after 2 sessions with me, and his speaking, he said if he had rated it, he thought he was a strong speaker before, but now he realized, he goes, I think I was a 3, and now I'm a 7. Because he integrated all these layers and these flows, and you speak in layers, and you speak in colors, and your tones, and your voice, and your movement, and your cadence, and your body language, all of it adds the layers to your message. And I'm not saying move all around. It's not about moving a lot. It's not about that. You can stay completely still and rivet a room beyond their soul just because you are willing to go there with them. As a powerful speaker, you have to be willing to take a risk. If you want your audience to put some skin in, you put some skin in first. They don't owe you anything. Yes, yes? Now, I know it sounds intense. And I know this is not rah-rah, but that wasn't my intention when I came up. I thought if I can give you something, I'm going to give you some meat and potatoes that you can run away with today and make a difference in someone's lives if you think you want to speak to make a difference. Yes, yes, you guys? So how do I shape my message? Oh, I love this. How do I shape my message? Most people come to me and say, I don't have a story. I say, oh, no, no, no. You have plenty of stories. You have incidences in your life when you wanted to stop. You have incidents in your life where you were challenged to keep moving forward. And you have incidents in your life where you kept going and it made a difference in your life. You just haven't learned how to trail those together and make the story. Your stories are a culmination of incidents that you attach together. I didn't know when my son was picking up the toy and dropping it that 2 years later when he gave it to Jamil and then when he went to, I had no idea that was a story. The last part of that I created to tie into the first part of the story to give you my message. Does that make sense? So what's your story? Your story is around your message. Your message is around your being. Ask yourself this question right now. What difference do I want to leave on this planet? What do I want my life to say? What do I want my life to say? So right now I want you to turn to a partner, grab a partner, turn to a partner, and you're going to interview your partner. Raise your hand if you need a partner. You're going to interview your partner. You're going to interview your partner. I'm going to facilitate the interview. So if you need a partner, raise your hand and find someone. If you need a partner, raise your hand and find someone else with their hand in the air. A, you have your back closest to that wall. B, your back is closest to that wall. A, you're going to ask B first. A, you're going to ask B first. What do you want your life statement to say? What do you want your life statement to say? And what that means is when all we have of you is your memory, when every part of your physical essence is no longer with us, what do you want to say your life statement gave? What do you want to say you contributed to this planet while you were breathing with us? What do you want your life to have said, to have done, to have produced, whatever? What do you want that to be? A, ask B. You're only going to talk for about 1 minute and 10 seconds. Ready, and go. And stop. Back in the other direction. B, ask A. What do you want your life message to say? What legacy do you want to leave? What's that fingerprint that you want to put on the world because you were here? It impacts your children, your grandchildren, your neighbors. It impacts the strangers. It impacts people whose name you'll never remember, but because they crossed your path, they had that experience. B, ask A. Ready, begin. And stop. Do you know that the #1 reason for breakdown in relationships, personally and professionally, lives inside the communication? Yes, yes? It's in either what was said incorrectly or wrong or hurtful or what wasn't said. Yes, yes? Language is the link between you and everything you need. Language is the link between you and everything you need. I wish I had another 2 hours with you. I would show it and demonstrate it over and over and over again with several of you in this audience how I can help you change your language. Anyone can who knows how to do it. Change your language to get a different result. Promise you. So much lives in your language. So much lives in your speaking. So much lives in the said and the unsaid. Next question. A, ask B. What do you know you need to learn to be a more powerful speaker? What do you know you need to learn? What do you know you need to get over? One of the best things you can know is what you don't know. If we just put our ego aside, if we bless our she-go and say, she-go, you can't fit with me right now. I need to know that I don't know this. Vishen talked about his business exploding because he went to masterminds. I tell people, my business has been explosive over the last 7 years because I was clear on what I didn't know. And I would even go to my coaches and say, can you ask the question that I don't even know I need to ask? And they would. And I kept a coach next to me for 10 years. And as a result, I have an international multi-million-dollar business because I knew I didn't know it. So what do you know you don't know about speaking? What do you know so that it can be invited in? In order to be a more powerful speaker, what do you need to learn? That's the question. A asks B. Ready, begin. In order to be a more powerful speaker, what do you need to learn? And stop. Go back in the other direction. In order to be a more powerful speaker, this is what I need to know. This is what I need to learn. This is what I don't know. Ready, go. In the other direction. And wrap up. Wrap up. Wrap up. I need a couple of people to raise your hands and tell me, what did you say that you don't know that you need help with? What was some of that? Right here, nice and loud. We're going to have a microphone come to you. And then after that, the gentleman in the black shirt. Stand up. What don't you know? Real fast.
I know that I'm a transformational speaker, but that takes too long. And what I need to work on is figuring out what's the most core message and delivering that so it's more motivational and inspirational. And I do all the acting out and all that, with the speaking, but so that they then will want to participate in the transformational programs that I do.
So you want to learn how to inspire and move people to transformation. Yeah. Okay, great. 2.
How do you remember what you're going to say, and what do you do when you blank out?
How do you know?
How do you remember what you're going to say, and what do you do when you blank out?
Okay, great. 3, right here. This gentleman right here in the black, and then right behind him in the orange, and then the young lady right on the side.
Integrating an offer and a close in the.
Oh, I love it. One of my favorites. How do you integrate an offer and not puke on the audience? Yes, yes? Invite me, don't puke on me, right? How do you have a loving invitation to action that makes me feel inspired to choose and not feel like if I don't do it, I'm wrong? I love it. Sir, right here. Stand up.
Yes, to become more authentic and genuine self while speaking so people can connect with you and realize that you are a human being just like them, not trying to sell them something.
Absolutely. More connectivity. And right on the end, right here. Right on the end. Stand up, sweetheart. The lady right there, standing there. Thank you so much. That's the last person.
I coach people in the area of health and wellness, so I have lots of information to provide, but I want to learn how to take that information and deliver it in a transformational way.
Okay, great. These are all super questions, and I'm going to answer as many as I can in the very limited time I have left. And here's what I commit to do. If you're interested, tonight when we're at whatever new fun excursion we're going to go to, if you guys want to sit around, I'll finish answering these if we run out of time. Does that sound good? We'll just keep going and going and going and going. Keep on going to the break of dawn. Okay. Not. All right, so very important, very critical questions, very necessary. How do I shape it and how do I know? How do I move to, how do I remember when I've lost a message? How do I do that? How do I recover? How do I invite people to take action and feel good about it and then really get them to action? And how do I get people from inspiration to transformation? How do I move them into radical action? I'm going to share a story with you, go into a little more of that because the stories kind of drive into messages as well. Talked about my swimming. I swam competition for 7-8 years. And though I was a top track runner, swimming had a different experience. In swimming, I had a problem. I always came in dead last. Say dead last. Say dead last. No, say it like you said if I wasn't around. Dead last. She came in dead last. You know how you drag that out if I wasn't here, right? And so I would always get an honorable mention. He's laughing because he knows what an honorable mention means. An honorable mention is a ribbon that says what? Thank you for showing up. You didn't do diddly squat, but we don't want you to leave here empty-handed. Y'all come back now, you hear? Now, I'm going to share this story with you because stories allow you to deliver your message inside of a story. And when you have a story and you know your story, you're less likely to move away from it. You just need to know the point you want to land. And your story has to always drive to the point that you're teaching. So use appropriate stories. So I have a list of stories. I got about 13, 14 stories, and I choose a story based on what message I want to land. So if ever you go off base, go to that story. Because stories teach people without pointing at them. It's just a story, but it's not pointing at them. Okay? You can come out of a story and you can drive someone to action by coming out of a story as well. You can teach transformation inside your story. I believe one of the first things I do with my students is I ask them and I help them to identify their core story and their core message and make sure it fits with the story that they want to tell to the world. So I want to quit this particular day. I come in dead last. We'd had 15 swim meets, 13 swim meets that year, and I'd come in dead last every single one. They had 8 lanes, I come in 8. They had 6 lanes, I come in 6. They had 10 lanes, I came in 10. And so this particular day, I was tired. Anybody been tired? One hand up or 2 hands up. Come on, you guys. This is an interactive process. Thank you very much. You've been tired. Even if you love doing something, it's still getting tired. Like I'm tired of going uphill. I'm tired of pushing. I love this, but it feels like this isn't going to feel good if I keep doing it like this. Anybody been there? Exactly. I was there with swimming. Now here's where I'm a talk. God, I've never done this before. I'm telling you the story and then I'm telling you about the story. Are you guys getting that? Okay, so I'm weaving the message inside the story so that at the end I don't have to teach a whole lesson because the story is doing it too. You guys get that? So I was tired. I went to my grandmother's house. My grandmother was the safest place on the planet for me. And I said, Grandma, look, I'm tired. I keep playing full out and I'm getting nothing in return. I feel like I'm getting nothing in return. I keep showing up and it feels like no one even notices that I show up. I keep doing my best and no one even says thank you. Anybody feel like that? I'm playing. Even though I came in dead last, Grandma, I played full out. I said, Grandma, so I decided to quit. She said, quit? I said, quit, ma'am? Like, I don't know how you say it. She said, baby, come sit right here. She said, Grandma, I got to tell you something. She said, you only 15, so you might not know this. She said, but you come from a long line of winners. And quitters never win. And winners never quit. She said, your great-great-grandparents, they had it hard, baby. See, they worked sun up to sundown with blistering toes and blistering fingers in the sun, and they had heat strokes, and they raised other people's children, and they wanted to quit, but they didn't. Because that's what you come from, baby. And your grandparents, they didn't have iPods and iPads and cell phones, and they didn't have any of the amenities that you have, and they still made it. And they never passed down their complaints to you, baby. They just passed down their stories of resiliency. Why? Because quitters never win, and winners never quit. She said, so, baby, I know you thought you had the option of quitting, but Grandma needs to take that option off the table. That's not in your blood. She said, so you're going out there and you swim that swim meet like you always do, and Grandma's going to say the same prayer she always says, God, thank you for giving my baby the victory. As a speaker, you got to be comfortable looking a little crazy on stage. Y'all all looking up like God there, right? When I take you with me, you go with me. You go everywhere I go with my words. She said, God, thank you for giving my baby the victory before she ever starts the race. I said, Grandma, I know you think I got the victory, and I know that God thinks I got the victory, but somebody need to tell the judge. When you're talking about something that's visceral, hurt, pain, scarcity, lack, you have the option to take them right back up with a moment of laughter and then go right back down. You can still go back down to the hurt, but if you take me too low, that's going to take that much more time to take me back out. Have you ever felt like you were sitting in the audience, someone dumped on you and then let you go? And you just didn't feel like you came all the way back up? They probably didn't do it intentionally, but they didn't spend as much time in the high that they spent in that deep low. Or the deep low was so deep that they needed to go there and come right back out and spend extra time up here. so you can level out or be higher than you were. Does that make sense, you guys? So you time your stories and where you tell them. So my grandmother sent me home. She told me I was going to swim. So the next day I show up in the gymnasium to swim, and I saw the worst sight ever. My entire family in the bleachers. Lisa! Hey, girl, we love you. There's only one thing, you guys, worse than coming in dead last. It's coming in dead last with your entire family watching. And I know my family, they'd be at 4th of July saying, girl, she was splashing water everywhere, everywhere. They was out the pool and she was still splashing. She might want to put that peach cobbler down. And I look at my family, I'm like, why are you guys here? What happened? We got your back. We see you, girl. Why are you here? Grandmama called us and said, go help that baby. I go over to the judge. I said, Judge, hi, I'm Lisa. I'm here to swim the freestyle, 50-yard freestyle. Can I just have my honorable mention now? Judge said, oh, I'm sorry. Your heat is already swam. I said, oh, cool. He said, wait. Coach, do you want her to swim with the 17, 18-year-olds? I was like, oh, no. The 15-year-olds have me for lunch. I'll be their appetizer. Please don't. My coach said, Lisa, go on. You need the exercise. I said, I don't need the exercise. I've mastered losing. Thank you very much. I have a loser shrine at home. So I get in the lane. It's the worst lane ever. It's the center lane. If anyone ever been a swimmer, the worst lane to get in if you know you're going to lose is the center lane. Because you don't ever know what happened by the time you hit the wall. But you got a long journey to the edge. So I get in the center lane. Guys, this is where you guys all get a free look at my cleavage. And I heard everyone has some kind of taste for chocolate. And I get on deck, and at 15, I notice immediately the big difference between a 15-year-old girl and an 18-year-old girl. At 15, I had a blue bathing suit with blue lace. At 18, Speedo. I was like, that's not cute. At 15, I had my hair going back in cornrows with, yes, matching blue barrettes. At 18, Speedo cap. I'm like, that really ain't cute. At 15, I had on waterproof mascara. At 18, goggles. I was like, that's so not cute. At 15, I got on deck. Hi, my name is Lisa. I'm scared. Hi, wait for me. Yeah, we'll go to the bathroom together. I'm going to take a little while, but wait. At 18, I was like, I can do that too, I think. You got to be willing as a speaker to put it all in there, you guys. You got to jump to the edge of your own stage. The gun, swimmers to your mark. I said, God, I know you said have faith of a mustard seed. I'm all right with that. But I think we need a watermelon seed today. But you said if I don't see it, just have faith in my heart. How many of you guys right now, you know you got to buckle down on the faith in your heart about something? Love, family, money, relationship, your weight, your life, something. And you gotta know in your heart because there's no physical evidence of it. Yes, yes? There's no physical evidence, but you never, ever needed physical evidence anyway. Swimmer, see your mark. Pow! The gun goes off, I hit the water. Quitters never win, winners never quit. Quitters never win, y'all help me. Quitters never win, winners never quit. Louder, quitters never win, winners never quit. Quitters never win, winners never quit. I drew my right arm back. There was one girl equal to me. I said, oh, today, she coming in what? Dead last. Quitters never win, winners never, come on y'all. Quitters never win, winners never quit. I did the flip turn, butt shot. Quitters never win, winners never quit. Quitters never win, winners never quit. Quitters never win, winners never quit. I hit the wall. I looked to my left. There was no one there. I looked to my right. There was no one there. I said, you know that negative chatter that we got in our head? I said, dang, I'm so slow they got out the pool already. I'm getting slower by the hour. I look up to my coach, but you know that tired, I did my best look. She said, Lisa, look. Lisa, look. And I'm like, what? Look behind you. And I look behind me, and the first person had just hit the halfway mark. But you know our negative chatter, right? To me, that's why we all need a coach, someone in our life calling us to our greatness. I looked at my coach. I said, Coach, was I supposed to swim 3 laps? Yes. I said, Coach, what happened? You want me to go back? What? My coach comes over to me. She goes, what did you do differently? What did you do differently? I've trained with you all year long. What did you do differently? I was like, mascara, my braids. Oh, my grandmother, I went to quit yesterday, and my grandmother said that quitters never win and winners never quit, so I decided to chant that while I was swimming. She said, what? I just chanted something new while I was swimming. She said, pause. Hold them there. Y'all not even breathing yet. Y'all all want to know. Ain't nobody talking. That's how you do it. What were you chanting before? I don't want to lose. 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 She said, I said, what happened, Coach? What happened? What the heck happened? She said, Lisa, at age 15, you just broke the 17-18 national record for freestyle. Yes, yes? Yes, yes? The only dynamic that changed was the conversation going on in my head. In closing, before I invite my wonderful partner in this experience up on board, in closing, I once did a visualization that I was driving down the road, and the gentleman who did it said that I got caught in a traffic jam, and in the traffic jam, I was very angst, and I was very uncomfortable, and I was very angry because I didn't want to be late, and then I realized that maybe the traffic jam is for me, and these people were all going to see me. How does that make me feel? And he said that when I got to this stadium, I went to this stadium, and there were 10,000 people in the stadium, and those 10,000 people all began to say and yell thank you to me out loud. Before I can ever say a word, I walked up to the stage, and before I can ever say a word, they start yelling thank you. I did that experience about 15 years ago, that visualization, 15 years ago in the Westin Hotel in Los Angeles, broke. 5 years ago, I'm driving down the 405 freeway with my girlfriend. I got my top down on my convertible. I got NDRE playing kind of loud, and we just chilling. I got my shades on, and we're reminiscing, because this is my girl that we would eat beanies and weenies together, and life has changed since then, and we're just reminiscing. And as we're driving down the road to this speaking engagement I got, I'm not really paying attention because I didn't really read the details. I was moving so fast on the road, 333 days, 233 days out the year, Oprah, Larry King. I wasn't reading all the details. I just knew I had to go somewhere in San Diego. I'm on the 405 freeway, top down, music up, girlfriend talking, and all of a sudden, the traffic stops. And I said, oh my God, I got 20 minutes to be there. I got to be there. She says, Lisa, what if this is your traffic jam? And we both start crying. Well, I knew it wasn't my traffic jam, but the thought was good. And I remember I had that visualization 10 years before at that time. And we drive a little longer, and then it slows down again, slows down some more, slows down some more, and then we come to a stop. And she said, I think we're in trouble because you got 10 minutes to be on stage, and we're not moving. So we waved to the guy in the big white truck. Excuse me, sir, can you let us in front of you? And he casually waves us over. We get in front of him, and he sticks his head out, and he said, yes, because I'm going to see you anyway. I start crying now, and all of a sudden I look to my right. True story, you guys. I look to my right, and there's a girl, two girls in the car, and the girl in the passenger seat, she's talking to the girl in the driver's seat, and all of a sudden I see when she recognizes me, she goes, and I said, I read lips too. And then all of a sudden I looked around, and everyone was kind of looking at me and waving, and then this woman in this Escalade drives up next to me, in this beautiful Escalade, and the window goes down really slow, and she goes, what time do you go on? And I'm crying, I think as soon as I get there. Well, I'm going to stay behind you because I came to see you anyway. No, I came just to see you. That's what she said. We drove, and then we got to Gridlock. There was nowhere to go. And we're on the off-ramp, and I cannot get there in time. There's no possible way if I'm going to sit in this traffic. And as if something divinely opened up from the heavens and came down, people begin to look out their window, and they begin to pull up on the embankment of the off-ramp, one by one, and opened a clear road. And as we drove down the road slowly, people yelled out, thank you. Thank you for your contribution in the secret. Thank you. You changed my life. Thank you. Thank you. And when we got to the San Diego Sports Arena, there wasn't 10,000 people waiting on me. There was 10,500. So when I tell you, whatever you are dreaming is your future, waiting for you to take radical action so it can greet you when you least expect it, and then you can stand in front of one or many and tell your story. Let me be that example of that. I never thought it would be so, and yet today it's so. So your future, your radical future, is waiting on you. Thank you.